Surface area to volume ratio is extremely crucial to any living organism since it can help to speed up the process of diffusion. Here's a practical we did to demonstrate this. In this practical, a chunk of set phenolphthalein, try saying that 10 times fast, was cut into 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, and 3 centimeter chunks, and their surface area and volumes were recorded. They were then placed in individual beakers and covered with hydrochloric acid. A timer was then started to see how long each cube would take to lose its color. It took 228 seconds for the 1 centimeter cube, an estimated 681 seconds for the 2 centimeter cube, and an estimated 709 seconds for the 3 centimeter cube. So one can tell that surface area to volume ratio speeds up the rate of diffusion. As organisms get bigger, the surface area to volume ratio tends to decrease, which is why large organisms get around this by having adaptations. One example of this is elephants, which have evolved to have extremely large ears so that they can lose heat faster in their natural habitat. By this analogy, it must mean that cells must have a very high surface area to volume ratio, right? Different cells have different adaptations to suit their requirements. For example, ciliated cells line the nostrils and move mucus from one place to another. They have cilia, which are tiny hairs that move the mucus. Another example is red blood cells, which we will be looking at in more detail. The purpose of red blood cells is to transport oxygen for aerobic respiration. This means that oxygen must diffuse into them to combine with hemoglobin, and there are two adaptations that they have to optimize this process. One of the factors that increase the rate of diffusion is greater surface area. Red blood cells have a bioconcave shape similar to that of a flattened disc in order to maximize their surface area so that there is more space for oxyhemoglobin to be produced. Another factor that increases the rate of diffusion is a shorter distance that the substance has to travel. Red blood cells have very thin cell membranes so that there is a very short distance and oxygen can diffuse quickly. This is important so that the organism receives the oxygen it demands for sports or activities, and also to recover oxygen debt. To conclude, a greater surface area to volume ratio greatly contributes to its efficiency as a whole. An example of this is red blood cells, which have a large surface area and a thin cell membrane for a faster rate of diffusion.